Brandon and I, we were gone last week. Thank you. Tim Schubert did a great job. Did a super job. Super blessed. We have a great team here. It's such an honor to be able to know that you are well loved when we're not here. A few weeks ago, Brian brought the word, and then last week, Tim brought the word. And it's just great to have those gifts in the house. I only let people speak one time because I don't want you to like them. Because it happened. I mean, when Shane Willard was here, he was here 3 days, spoke 3 days, and then we had a conversation out in the multi-purpose room. I had somebody say to me, after Shane Willard spoke, "That is the best sermon I've ever heard." And I'm like, I'm in the room here. So I give people one and done, and so Brian and Tim are out because they did too good the first time. So a couple of quick details before we get into what the Lord wants to share with us today. September 9th, that's a Saturday, September 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning. So 9 at 9, we have a work day here at the church. We have we need all hands on deck. We have some cleaning to do, we have some sheetrock to hang, we have some small construction jobs we need to get done, we have some painting, we have some, so 9 at 9, probably till noon or 1 o'clock. We want to be done by 1, so we don't have to spend your whole day down here. But if you would please mark your calendar for 9 at 9 and come and help serve in whatever capacity you can. We have much to do. We haven't had a work day around here for a long time, and so 9 at 9 we have that. Also coming up, starting the week of September 4th after Labor Day, so starting next week, we kick off our city groups. That's our small groups inside of our larger community. Tim did a great job bringing about the importance of our city groups last week. I hope when you came in you were given one of these. If you weren't, you'll be given one on your way out. This is the list, the city groups that will be going on. There's 5 different city groups, the exact dates that they'll be meeting, their addresses. I'm going to talk about it more, but you need to get involved with our city groups. And then last of all, starting Wednesday, September 13th, for 4 Wednesdays, I'm going to do, on a Wednesday night, I'm going to do a marriage and parenting teaching. Now, there's something I need to hit there. If you're married, single, dating, thinking about dating, whatever level, wherever you are in life, junior high or older, you really need to be here. Now, here's the deal. Usually when I do a marriage teaching, a marriage seminar, I usually do it over a period of 6 weeks. And when I do parenting, I usually do that parenting, which covers the big two, dating and dating with teenagers. So, but actually the big 2 Ds are discipline and dating when it comes to raising children. So usually when I do a parenting or a marriage, if those are 2 6-week seminars, I'm taking 2 6-week seminars and cramming them into 1 4-week meeting. So here's the deal with that 4-week meeting. Each Wednesday night will be 2 hours. We will go from 7 to 9. It'll be a full 2 hours. There's so much material to cover. So that I want you to be aware of that. I also want you to know on those Wednesday nights, that I will be very transparent. Some of our conversation is not for those that are younger than junior high. But I tell you, if you have junior high or older, and if you think they haven't heard what we're going to talk about, they have. They have. And I think you would prefer they hear it through a filter of truth rather than a filter of assumption. Amen. So I would recommend that. And it may be kind of embarrassing, some of the topics that we're going to cover, because we're going to cover, in church, we're going to talk about sex. And so that could make you blush sitting next to a junior high person. I won't blush, but you might. But we're going to talk about marriage and dating and parenting, and we're going to do it 4 weeks. So 7 to 9, starting Wednesday the 13th. We will have paid child care on those Wednesday nights, so you can bring children and trust them to our amazing children's ministry, and we will take care of them. Okay? You good? Are you good? You have a good week? Yeah. Is everybody happy? Everybody's good? We're good. Glad you're here. You're the best looking church in the valley. I want you to know that. You are the best looking church in the valley, and I mean that. And I don't say that to any other church. will, to Hebrews chapter 12. Now, Hebrews is an interesting book because we really don't know who wrote it. Scholars and philosophers debate over who wrote it. The primary belief is that the Apostle Paul wrote Hebrews, but we don't know that we know. I lean towards the Apostle Paul having been the author of Hebrews, just because of the style of his writing. When you look at the other writings that we know Paul wrote, Hebrews is a very, very similar style. And Paul writes in run-on sentences. Whenever you read anything Paul writes, he writes in run-on sentences, which is the way I preach. So Paul and I would get along. We just go. And Hebrews is written very much in the same way. And so throughout the next few weeks, as we're having this conversation, if I should slip and say, Paul says, don't send me an email and say, we don't know if Paul said that. You're right, we don't. I'll delete it. So, Hebrews chapter 12, we're going to start there, and we're starting a new series called MicroBrews. And we're going to take a few weeks and walk through Hebrews. And we're not going to walk chapter 1 through the end of 14. We're going to hop around and really see how Hebrews draws a picture for us to win this race that we call life. How to win this race called life through MicroBrews. Hebrews 12:1, the writer says, therefore, now he starts out therefore, because Hebrews chapter 11 is a summary of great heroes of the faith. Some of those heroes of the faith are described as what they accomplished and what they failed at and what they battled through and their families. Some of the heroes of the faith, there's not so much detail, just their names are listed. But Hebrews chapter 11 is, the word by faith is used at least 9 times. By faith, by faith, by faith. And Hebrews chapter 11 verse 13, which I want to talk about next week, is a powerful verse. Hebrews 11:13 says, they died in faith. I don't know how I'm going to die, but I know I'm going to die in faith. It's an amazing story. So at the end of Hebrews 11, remember chapter breaks are man-made. Hebrews 11 ends, and so our writer says, since I've talked about all these people, therefore, since we, now watch today all the times when we hear the words we, us, our. It's this inclusive term that the writer uses. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses that we've just talked about, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight. And so really what he's saying here is, listen, these people lived and died. They sacrificed. They gave everything they had. They lived in faith. They died in faith. They worked in faith. They raised their families in faith. They are heroes of the faith. They accomplished much in the faith. When you read about them, they're written in the Word of God. They're such people of faith. And he said, it's almost like he gives us a responsibility. Let us also not drop the ball. Let us also pick up the baton and pass this amazing gift of faith on. Let us also be deliberate in what we're called to do and not quit. Let us also throw off every weight, and watch this, and sin which clings so closely. Have you ever noticed that? He didn't say, and throw off every weight and stop sinning. No, he says, sin seems to cling close. Like, you just go through life and sin, it's like sin Googles you. It's like Google Map. Google Map, where's Russ? There he is, I'm going to meet him there. It's not that, sin just clings close. Wherever you go, there's opportunity or temptations that just go. And our writer says, listen, we have a responsibility to not drop the ball of these heroes of the faith. So let us also cast off that weight. And don't worry about that sin that's so close. Don't do what some people do. You ever just want to quit? You ever just want to see what the other side is like? Just give up? Just, is it really worth it? Why do I care so much? You ever ask yourself those questions? As your pastor, I tell you, I do. I hope that doesn't scare you. It's being transparent. What would it be like? I don't know. But I know that the writer says we have a responsibility. That we're being cheered on by heroes of the faith. Let us also throw off that weight and that sin that clings so closely. And let us run with endurance the race that's set before us. Now that verse isn't a great verse. Let us run with endurance the race that's set before us. You know why it's not a great verse? Because of the word endurance. Here's the problem with endurance. Endurance isn't sexy. It's just not. Sexy is Usain Bolt running 100 meters in less than 9 seconds. I was like, yeah, brother's got it going on. Endurance? Now, there's no one in here, none of us in here are going to go to a movie and invite someone, hey, listen, there's this guy who just did what was right for 52 years. Every day he just did what was right. And he ends up dying, but for 52 years, he just did what was right every day. You want to go watch a movie? Like, no. No, I don't. Endurance isn't attractive. Endurance isn't sexy. I ran, back in July, I ran the half marathon, and I want to tell you, of the hundreds of people that lined the route of the half marathon, I didn't meet one person, not one, thousands of people. Now let me give you a picture of how big this is, this half marathon, just to get a glimpse of it. In Missoula is a city of about 80,000 people, and in the full marathon, there's 1,500 runners, and in the half marathon, there's 2,500 runners in the full marathon, and in the half marathon, there's 4,000 runners, so we have 6,500 runners, and in the 5K, there's 1,500 runners, so there's 8,000 runners going in a city of 80,000. So that would equate to, in Phoenix, a city or a valley roughly of 6 million, that would be 600,000 people showing up to run a race. That's what's happening in Missoula. So 8,000 runners show up, and so thousands of runners and thousands of people lining the streets, and I crossed the finish line of my whole time up there. I didn't meet one person, not one person, said to me, I've been waiting for that 56-year-old guy to run that half marathon in 2 hours and 19 minutes. I just couldn't wait for this moment. No one. Endurance isn't attractive. Endurance isn't what we go out to watch. But the writer says, listen, we have a responsibility. We have a great gift of faith been passed on to us by people that lived and died and raised and gave everything they had so that today we can walk in it. And he says, let us also throw aside every weight, cast aside that sin that clings so closely, and run with endurance the race that's marked out before us. And he says, how good is it? Looking to Jesus. Looking to Jesus. I'm tired. I don't want to run the race. Look at Jesus. I feel challenged. I feel betrayed. Look at Jesus. My relationship is a mess. Look at Jesus. I have a bad diagnosis. Look at Jesus. My finances are a mess. I look to Jesus. I'm confused about tomorrow. I look to Jesus. I lost my job. You look to Jesus. You just look to Jesus. I've been lied to. I look to Jesus. I've been betrayed. I just look to Jesus. Looking to Jesus. Watch this. The author, the founder, the perfecter of our faith. How cool is that? You can't perfect your faith, and you're never expected to. He perfects our faith. We are called to let us also run the race. And he says, if you'll run the race with endurance, I'll become the fuel. I'll perfect your faith. Amen. I got your back. Amen. Looking to Jesus, the author, the perfecter, the founder of my faith. Oh! And watch this. Watch this. I love this. Who, for the joy. Now let me promise you something. The Bible doesn't exaggerate. So when it says something is joy, it is joy. Like it is joy. And he says, who for the joy set before him endured the cross and despised its shame. What does it even mean? Here's what that means. For the joy of knowing King will be set free. For the joy of knowing that David will be set free. For the joy of knowing that Ray will be set free. For the joy set before him, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do this. And when I do this, I'll be the fuel that you'll be able to endure and cast off that weight that keeps you from carrying the baton from all those amazing folk that went before us. Amen. Looking at Jesus, who for the joy set before him, oh my gosh, endured the cross, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God. I mean, that's a position of authority. That's a position of it is finished. That's a position of you don't have to do anything else. I got this. I got this. I got this. I got this. Running the race. Sometimes the race is fooling. And when I was running the half marathon, just another moment of learning transparency. I realized at about mile 5, it's 13.1 miles, and I realized at mile 5, I had entered a race I am not going to win. And what really told me I was not going to win this race is when at about mile 5, a little kid passed me. A little kid. And I'm going to be really honest with you, I wanted to trip him. I wanted to trip that little kid. And I even figured out in my mind a way to do it. I'm just telling you. I'm thinking, I'm running along, it's 5 miles in, 6 miles in, people are going to know we're tired. I can stumble a little bit, kick the little kid. He goes down, sorry, bro. I'll take you out. I'm just being real. I just want to trip that little kid. Run right by him. Ridiculous. Sometimes we feel like there's just no way we're going to win. Turn back to the first book of Hebrews, Hebrews 1, or the first chapter of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 1, verse 1. Hebrews 1:1. Watch this. Long ago, at many times, and in many ways, God spoke. How cool is that? That God speaks in many ways. That's the personal relationship. He's going to talk to me different than he talks to you. He's going to bring different answers to me, different than he brings answers to you. Why? Because it's a personal relationship. And he talks in many ways, and he talks in many times. And the beauty of it is, my walk doesn't have to look like your walk doesn't have to look like my walk. You don't have to run the race at the pace I'm running, and I don't have to run the race at the pace you're running. We just got to fix our eyes on Jesus. We just got to fix our eyes on Jesus. We just got to fix our eyes on Jesus. We got to fix our eyes on Jesus. And at many times, and in many ways, he's going to come and talk to us. Amen. Oh my goodness. Amen. In many ways, many times, God spoke to our fathers by the prophets. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son. To the important line. He has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed the heir of all things, through whom he created the world. He is the radiance, Jesus is the radiance of the glory of God and the exact imprint of his nature. And he upholds the universe. Did you hear that? He upholds the universe by the word of his power. This galaxy, this crazy spinning thing that we live in, this thing that tornadoes show up, and this thing that is called the galaxy, it floats in something, somehow, just because he told it to. He said, galaxy, go there and stay. We can't stay. Fail. Alright, let's just try with just something small. Stay. He upholds the galaxy just because of his word. He just says, sun, you go this way, moon, you go that way, earth, you go this way. Y'all get it right, nobody gets it right. Wow. After making purification for sins, here it is again, he sat down at the right hand of the majesty on high. Wow. So in chapter 1 it goes on, and the writer begins to tell us about angels and the conversation with angels and the role of angels. And actually in October I'm going to talk about angels and demons, kind of around the Halloween thing. So I'm not going to go there now. So the rest of chapter 1 is kind of dedicated to angels and the conversation with angels and the importance of angels. And so as he wraps up, he begins chapter 2. Remember the chapter breaks and made. So chapter 2, the next slide, he says, therefore, what do you mean therefore? Therefore, since God talks through the old prophets, and now God talks through his Son, and these angels wonder what he says to us, is basically the conversation. The angels don't know grace. They don't get to experience forgiveness. We do. And it says that the angels look into it with curiosity. And so the writer says, you know, it's that run-on sentence thing. Oh, now he speaks to us through his Son, and the message is so amazing, the angels wish they could dial in. Therefore, we must pay much closer attention to what we have heard, lest we drift away. Lest we drift away. Isn't drifting easy to do? We don't even know we're drifting. We just start drifting. Again, you'll hear this illustration, I'm sure, throughout the series, the race that we live in life and the race that I ran in July. Preparing for the race, I was running a mile in about 10 minutes and 15 seconds. That was my mile pace. And I ran 3 times before I left. I ran 8 miles at 10 miles and 15 seconds per mile. So I was pretty spot on with that. So I show up for the race, and there's those 8,000 people, and some music playing, and everybody's kind of pumped up, and we're getting ready for the race, and super excited, and they set up the fireworks, and the race starts, and I take off running the race, and I have an app on my phone that tells me how fast I'm running and what pace I'm running, and I'm boogieing right along, and I get to the end of the first mile, and my app says that my current pace is 8 minutes and 15 seconds, when I've been practicing at 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And I realized, if I keep running at 8 minutes and 15 seconds, I'm not going to make 2 miles. I'm going to die in front of 8,000 people. How did that happen? Race pace, it's called. Race pace. The gun starts, and you get sucked up into race pace. Without even knowing, I drifted from what I practiced. For 24 miles, I practiced 10.5. I just drifted. Drifting is so easy. We don't realize what drifting can do to us. Luke chapter 15, don't turn there, but Luke chapter 15 is an amazing book of the Bible. It's the only book of the Bible that has the story in it, this type of a story. It's one parable with 3 stories. It starts out and says, and Jesus gave a parable. We think there's 3 parables. It's not. It's one parable. And Jesus gave a parable. And in that parable, there's 3 stories. Story number 1 is about the sheep who wandered off. There was a 99 and 1 sheep wandered off. Story number 2 is about the lost coin. The widow in the house, she lost her coin. Story number 3 is about the lost son. We call it the prodigal father. It's one parable, 3 stories. How does that have to do with drifting? Because it all fits into drifting. The first is, it says that the sheep wandered off. You ever just get caught up in life? You're just living life. You're just running the errands, trying to get the groceries, take care of the kids, get school handled, just try to figure out how to pay the next bill, and you just all of a sudden you look up, and 2 years have passed by, and you have drifted. And that sheep just wandered off. The lost coin. How about, it wasn't the coin's fault it was lost. The widow lost the coin. Out of carelessness, this coin got lost. Some of us in this room, we've been treated carelessly. Physical abuse and sexual abuse and parental abuse, and somebody else in your life that you love has abused you, or neglected you, or hurt you, or rejected you. It wasn't the coin's fault, but it was lost. And sometimes we just drift because of someone's carelessness in our life. Sometimes we could say, oh, the prodigal son of his own volition, he chose to go off. Oh, no, we never make those choices, do we? We never choose like he chose. We never choose to decide that reacting the way the world would react would be better, do we? See, we drift. And the Hebrew writer says, listen, we don't just hear from God in many ways. We heard from his son. And it's so important that angels wish they could hear it too. So we need to listen even more closely so we don't drift. Drifting is so easy. Think about Eve in the garden. The Garden of Eden. It was the perfect setting. It was perfect. They didn't have to work. They didn't fight over a job. They had no children. Happy thoughts. Nothing at home got broken. They had no money. They didn't even fight over money. It was perfect. They walked in God with God in the garden. They were both naked. It's perfect. You know why that's perfect? Oh, get your minds out of the gutter. It was perfect because that means there was no mosquitoes. You guys are thinking something else. No, that's marriage number 13. It was perfect. Perfect. Genesis 3:4. But the serpent said to the woman, you will not surely die, for God knows that when you eat of it, your eyes will be open. You know, there's some things we just are not designed to see. You're talking about that? There's something we just aren't supposed to see. We are not supposed to see our grandma naked. See? Yeah. The birthday boy agrees. I'm down with it. Just some things we should never see. The eyes will be open. Some of you are enjoying that way too much. Just come back. Come back. And you'll be like God, knowing good and evil. That word knowing translates to yada. That word yada actually means the most intimate of intimate intimates. It was the knowing. Adam knew Eve, they had a child. Joseph didn't know Mary, but she was pregnant. It's that kind of know, it's that kind of intimate. And Satan says, you won't die. You'll just have the same intimacy with good and evil that God has. As though God has intimacy with evil. Now watch this. The woman saw that the tree was good for food. The woman saw that it was a delight to the eyes. And that the tree was to be desired. So she looks at it. Does sometimes quitting grace look good? Sometimes doesn't quitting grace sound pleasurable? Sometimes quitting the race sounds like a delight. And here's what she did. And she took this fruit. Oh, she didn't take the whole tree. She didn't go out time on and have an adulterous affair and wreck the car. No. She just tried some fruit. She just tried a little fruit. And began to drift from a perfect environment. And if Eve can drift from the environment she lived in, how much more should you and I, in some of Hebrews 2:1, pay all the more attention to the word of the Son, lest we drift. So how do we not drift? I'm going to give you 3 tools today. I'm going to give you several tools throughout this of how to win this race. But today I'm going to give you tools specifically on how to not drift. The first tool is this. Listen, we need to move from communicated knowledge to revealed knowledge. It's an important statement. We need to move from communicated knowledge to revealed knowledge. See, Eve had communicated knowledge. Her husband told her what to do and what not to do. She had communicated knowledge. Communicated knowledge says this: I'm my best supply. I am my best supply. Revealed knowledge says this: God is my supply. Eve had communicated knowledge. Peter, he had revealed knowledge. 2 examples of that. Remember Jesus sitting around with the boys one day, hanging out with the boys, and hey, question, guys, question. Like, what do people say I am? What do folks say about me out there? They start piping up, well, some people say you're a prophet. I don't know about that. And some people say like you're Elijah. There's this one group of folk, they think you're John the Baptist. Remember that guy got his head chopped off, your cousin? They're thinking like you're John the Baptist. Come back from the dead. Jesus says, wait, you're missing the point. No. Who do you say I am? Peter says, well, you're the Christ. The anointed one. God says, bro, that's revealed knowledge. That's not communicated knowledge. You got revealed knowledge. And how did it pay off for him? Another time Jesus is hanging out. Jesus wasn't very good at building the church. He was really good at sending people away. He's got a whole group of people around. He starts having this conversation. Look, if you want to follow me, it's pretty easy. All you got to do is eat my flesh and take a drink of my blood. And for most people, that was like, well, that's our cue. I'm out. So Jesus looks at his boys. Hey, y'all want to go too? Peter says this: go. You are all we have. You're the answer to everything. No, I don't want to go. See, Jesus, or Peter, had gone from communicated knowledge to revealed knowledge. Here's the deal. If your relationship with God is focused on what is being withheld instead of focused on the grace that's being offered, you're functioning in communicated knowledge. Did you get that? If your relationship with God, you're focused on what's being withheld, instead of focused on the grace that's being given, you're functioning in communicated knowledge. Revealed knowledge comes through endurance. Here's the deal. Came out of a crazy drug addicted background, late 1980, 81, gave our hearts to Jesus, got set free from a drug overdose, tripping like crazy people, seeing things we shouldn't see. Over the course of time since then, I read the Bible. It's my habit. I read the Bible front to back. Every 2 years, I read through the Bible. I've read the Bible front to back 21 times. I right now, just this week, finished reading 1 Chronicles, and I still today am getting revealed knowledge. Because it's endurance. It's endurance. It's endurance. It's endurance. It's endurance. It's endurance. You want to stop drifting? You've got to go from communicated knowledge to revealed knowledge. Second tool on how to stop drifting. Listen to me and listen to me close on this, please. Second tool of how to stop drifting. You've got to surround yourself with other people that will build you up. Get in a city group. 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 There's not an excuse. We don't have time. We don't have time. There's 5 different groups that meet on 6 different nights. There's 30 different opportunities in an 11-week process. You don't have time? Get in a city group. Get in a group where you will be built up and where you will be able to build others up at the same time. Get in a city group. You want to stop drifting? Have someone hold you accountable. Yeah, I knew we'd get an amen there, but I'm not going to stop preaching city groups until we all are in one. That's the way it is. Get in a city group. Hebrews chapter 10 talks about this in our MicroBrews conversation. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 23. The writer says, let us hold fast the confession of our hope. Oh my goodness. What a great line. Let us hold fast the confession of our hope. Without wavering. For he who promised is faithful. He is faithful. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works. You know what that word consider really means? Let's be creative. Let's be creative how to stir one another up. Let's be creative in love and good works how to stir one another up. How would that change the face of this community if on Sundays we showed up already being creative of how we're going to encourage other people? We just show up saying, man, Kean, I've been looking forward to seeing you all week. Bro, I love your hair. Yeah, I mean, don't do that. Do it different. You know what I'm saying? That didn't work well. Yeah. I love your eyebrows, bro. Your eyebrows are awesome. What if we came considering being creative and how to encourage one another? Man, I'm glad you're here. It is so cool to see you made it today. I'll tell you what, today would not be the same without you being here. Give me a high five. There we go. Let's be creative in how to encourage one another and stir one another to good works. Let's consider how to do that. But watch what he says here. How to stir one another up in good works. Not neglecting to meet together, as is the habit of some. Now, right there, we usually land on not neglecting to meet together. That means they all need to be in church. Well, that'll preach, but that's not exactly that's not the full meaning here. Not neglecting to meet, you can stop there. He meant don't come to church. Not neglecting to meet. But he says not neglecting to meet together. Building one another up. Encouraging one another. Being in a city group where through the week I have someone I can invest in and they can invest in me. I have never seen anyone leave a church that's involved in a small group and discipling somebody else. I've never seen it. You want to stop drifting? Get in a place where you can encourage one another and be encouraged to meet together. Watch this. Watch this. Not neglecting to meet together as is the habit of some, but encourage one another. That word encourage, that's a French word, actually, it's got a French connotation to it. And it really means to put strength into. To put strength into someone in a challenge they're currently facing. I'm wondering if I'm going to do this. To encourage one another. Growing up in Montana, you would have thought that I grew up skiing, but I did not until I was an adult. And there's not been a lot of times I've wanted to stab my wife with a ski pole, but this is one of them. So she grew up skiing and decided I need to learn to ski. We made some counseling after this. So we go skiing for the first time, and I've never been, so of course I have to rent everything, and I've never had anything. So I rent the skis, and I rent the poles, and I rent the boots, and I put the boots on, I sit down, and they put the boots on, and I stand up, and I try to walk in them. It's like I was stick up my personality. And so we go out to ski, and the first place they tell me to ski is a really encouraging place. This is the dope slope. Some places dress it up. It's a bunny hill. Hey, Donnie, let's go to the bunny hill. So I go to the dope slope, and I'm going down, and I'm thinking, I'm doing this. Like, yeah, I'm doing this. And I look at the bottom of the hill, there's people waiting in line to go up this thing called the rope tow. And they're waiting in line at the bottom of the hill. And I realize I don't know how to stop. So I yell, how do you stop? How do you stop? And people start yelling, snowplow! And I'm going, where? Like, where? There's a snowplow! And they go, no, put your knees together! And I'm picking up speed! So I think in my mind, I'm going to fall down. If I fall down, I'll stop. You remember those boots? I didn't fall down, I sat down. I'm sitting on my skis going down the dope slope. I have this group of people waiting in line going, and I promise you, yard sale. I hit them, I took people out, skis, poles, boots, hat. I mean, it was horrible. I can't make this up. This is a true deal. My wife was with me. So I finally get up, and I get back in line, and I'm put together, and I'm getting in line, and I'm watching people go up this rope tow. They get pulled up this rope thing, and it's almost my turn. I say to the guy behind me, how does this work? And he goes, well, if you grab it slowly, it will pull you up. Okay. So it's my turn, and I grab it slowly. And my gloves are smoking. And he goes, grab it a little tighter. And it takes me. I'm getting drawn up the hill, hanging on to this rope, dragging stuff behind me. These poles that are on my wrists are speeding. I'm not making this up. I get to the top, and I'm finally gathered, and I'm just, and another little kid skis by, just zips by, and he's like, go for it, mister. I'm a shister bottom, bro. So my wife lied to me and said, you did good. Let's go to the top. Like I have a clue what that means. All right, let's go to the top. So we go stand in this other line. We're standing in this line, and it's a long line, and there's this green wicker chair basket looking thing going around, picking people up. And I'm standing in this line, and I lost my balance. I fell over. And so did several other people. It's like the domino thing. And I don't want to get in trouble, so I start yelling, who fell? Who fell down? So I finally get in, and out of nowhere, this chair just, you're in the air! Like, I'm in the air! And there's this dude sitting next to me, I don't know him, but I got a deadlock on this pole. And I'm like, I just want you to know that Jesus has a wonderful plan for your life. And if you touch this pole, you'll discover it. I'm going up the hill, and I look down, and there's clothes, there's hats and shoes and pants and coats. I'm getting naked up there. I'm getting naked up there. There's a sign, you're 250 feet in the air, there's a sign that says, don't jump. Do people do that? What they don't tell you at the very top is like, lift your skis. This is true. So we get to the top, my skis catch, I'm out. And the people behind me. And I'm yelling, who fell? I'm so furious at this point. I'm like, oh, I have no control. I'm sure things were coming out that I was furious. And there's her and my brother take up down, skiing down the hill. And so I figure out I can get further if I just lay on my stomach. Because the clothes are slick. It's true. And they're all like going, you're doing so good. I got to the bottom of the hill. I was like, oh, I was out of control, angry. And they're howling. They're thinking like, this is the best thing ever. And I think, I'm going to get you to kick off the skis. True story. I look back at that. Why didn't I quit after the bunny hill? Because I had someone encouraging me, spurring me on, telling me you can do it. I believe in you. How much more should we listen to the Son when he says, don't fail to get together. Don't neglect coming together. Encourage one another. Be creative in the way you lift each other up. How much more? I'm a little nervous because I need Lisa to come up and I don't see Lisa. I thought maybe the rapture happened. Come on. That was scary. Oh no, she's gone! The third tool I want to give you, I want you to listen. Please listen closely. And after I make the first statement, don't go, oh yeah, I got it. So you hear me illustrate it. If we want to stop drifting, we need to go from communicated knowledge to revealed knowledge. If we want to stop drifting, we need to surround ourselves with people that will build us up and that we can build up. If we want to stop drifting, we need to realize this is not spring. This will take endurance. I've been doing this endurance thing since the late 1980s. We didn't buy a building with a zip code and a garage so that we could do something quick. We came here to change a generation. But it can't happen unless I'm going to run that race. In biblical times, the firstborn received the blessing from the father. The firstborn son. Now, the most familiar firstborn that I can mention that we would all catch, the most familiar firstborn is named Abraham. Abraham had two brothers. We know that he had at least two brothers, and he was the oldest. He was the firstborn male of his family. And so, in biblical times, the father would go to the firstborn and lay his right hand on him, pray over him, and give him what's called a double portion. Everybody would get a blessing. All the sons would get a blessing, but the firstborn would get the double portion. Abraham, through miraculous work with him and Sarah, when he was beyond the age of being able to conceive in Sarah's life, had Isaac, the firstborn son. Who, if you remember, Isaac was his father. Abraham built an altar and was going to sacrifice him, and the Lord provided a ram. But Isaac was the firstborn, and so Abraham at one point laid his right hand on his son, gave him double blessing. And Isaac had two sons. He had more than that. He had 12 total, but his first two sons, were twins. Esau and then Jacob, born in that order. Esau was the oldest son. The Bible narrative tells us that Esau was a hunter. And he went out, and when he came back, Jacob was cooking some soup. And Esau said to Jacob, bro, give me some of that soup. Like, I'm tired. I've been living this life out there by myself. I'm exhausted. I need some soup. And Jacob says, you need some soup? Why don't you trade me your birthright for some soup? And Esau says, look, life has got me down so much. I'm so worn out. I'm angry. I feel like mom loves me more. I've been doing this thing solo, nobody even gathering around me. What's my birthright even worth? Yeah, I'll trade you. Today, we celebrate the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, when it should be the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. Because he traded. This is not a script. I won't trade this community, my family, or myself for a cup of soup. Amen. This will take endurance. When we get tired, we need to be surrounded by people that speak life over us and we speak life over them. And that's when we start transitioning from communicating knowledge